Self-confidence is not just about appearing secure to others, but about deeply believing in your own ability to act and solve problems. It is that silent force that says, "I can do it, no matter the challenge." It doesn't come from perfection, but from accepting imperfection. Confident people understand that failure is part of the process, and they keep moving forward anyway. True confidence is rare because society fuels comparison and insecurity. But the good news is that confidence is a muscle that can be trained, and every promise kept strengthens this inner force. It is essential to understand the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-esteem is how you evaluate and value yourself, while self-confidence is the belief in your ability to act and overcome challenges. You can have one without the other. Someone may like themselves but still doubt their competence, or they may have proven skills but still feel inferior in other areas of life. Working on both together is crucial, as self-esteem strengthens self-love and self-confidence strengthens courage. When they walk together, they create an unshakable foundation. Self-confidence shapes every area of life. At work, it influences how you present ideas, seek opportunities, and take on projects. In relationships, it defines healthy boundaries and attracts respect. In mental health, it reduces anxiety, because instead of imagining catastrophes, you trust in your ability to find solutions. Even physical health improves, since confident people believe they can take care of themselves. Confidence also determines how big you dare to dream, because it expands horizons and strengthens resilience in the face of obstacles. One of the greatest myths that block confidence is the idea that you need to wait until you feel ready to act. The truth is that readiness doesn't come before action, but as a result of it. You will never feel 100% prepared, and you don't need to. You just need to take the first step with the resources you have today. Great achievers started insecure, made mistakes, and learned along the way. It was precisely this courage to act amid uncertainty that made them unshakable. Everything begins with identity. If you see yourself as insecure, you will act insecurely. But when you assume the identity of a confident person, you naturally start acting that way. The brain responds to the stories you tell yourself. If you say, "I can't," your mind will look for proof of that. But if you affirm, "I am confident," you will begin to act according to that narrative. Small victories reinforce this identity until it becomes part of who you are. Another key factor is reprogramming your inner dialogue. Often, this voice is critical and sabotaging, repeating phrases like, "You're not good enough," or "You'll fail again." But the brain believes what you repeat. That's why replacing self-criticism with self-command is essential. Positive affirmations, repeated with emotion, rewire the subconscious. Questioning sabotaging thoughts also helps. Is this absolute truth, or just an old belief? Over time, that inner voice becomes your greatest ally. The body also plays a vital role. Upright posture, steady eye contact, and deep breathing convey authority and security. Body language not only influences others but also influences you. When you adopt a confident posture, your brain interprets it as a signal of strength, increasing courage and reducing stress. Small adjustments in the body can completely transform your mental energy. Discipline is another pillar of self-confidence. Each time you follow through on a habit or goal, you prove to yourself that you can. Discipline creates a history of victories that become inner fuel. It doesn't rely on motivation, because the routine is already established. This consistency builds solid confidence that doesn't crumble on difficult days. Every completed habit is like a brick in the castle of confidence. To further strengthen this foundation, it is essential to keep small daily commitments. They work like deposits in an internal trust account. Every promise kept builds emotional balance that supports courage when facing big challenges. The mistake many make is setting massive goals and failing, which weakens confidence. The secret is to start small but stay consistent. And when failure happens, it doesn't have to destroy your confidence. Mistakes are part of the process, and confident people know how to separate failure from identity. They understand that a setback doesn't define who they are, it's just a step in learning. True confidence is tested in hard times, when you choose to get up and keep going. This inner strength attracts respect and opportunities. Confident people radiate an energy that naturally draws attention. At work, in relationships, or in negotiations, confidence inspires credibility. The world trusts those who trust themselves. And this is not arrogance but authenticity, the certainty that you can rely on yourself. To sustain this confidence, you must shield your mind against criticism and rejection. Not all criticism deserves space inside you. Some bring valuable lessons, but many are simply reflections of others' insecurities. When you strengthen your identity, you stop depending on external approval. Rejections are no longer proof of inadequacy but simply redirections. Celebrating internal victories is also essential. Acknowledging small achievements releases dopamine, reinforces positive behavior, and counters self-criticism. This habit keeps motivation alive and makes the journey enjoyable. Each victory, no matter how small, reinforces the message, "I can trust myself." Confidence is also consolidated through repetition. Every time you practice, repeat, and face challenges, you reinforce your ability. Over time, confidence stops being an effort and becomes natural, like a reflex. Just as muscles grow with training, confidence grows with repeated exposure to what once caused fear. In the end, it all comes down to one choice: acting despite fear. Fear will never completely disappear, but it doesn't need to be an obstacle. It's simply a sign that you are growing. True confidence is born when you decide to take the next step even with a racing heart. Every action transforms fear into courage and doubt into clarity. This is the code of self-confidence. Believing in yourself, aligning identity, discipline, and action, and continuing forward even in the face of fear. Whoever practices this code discovers that within them lies an unshakable strength, ready to overcome any challenge.